Alrighty, to start off with, let's see if anybody recognizes this little tune here. Yeah, I think you might recognize that tune, huh? I think everybody recognizes that tune without even hearing more than the first 9 notes. Alright, that's the Dueling Banjos theme from Movie Deliverance. Alright, everybody knows it. World known and famous. And, well, I'm here to tell you the whole story about the song Dueling Banjos and what took place in that movie Deliverance surrounding that song. You see, everybody knows the Banjo Boy. You go online, you Google it, you put in Dueling Banjos, boom, there's the picture of the Banjo Boy. It's on everything. T-shirts, cups, mugs, everything you can imagine. Posters, okay, bumper stickers, everything's got that classic picture of the Banjo Boy. And, you know, everybody knows it, okay? Does anybody know his name? Never thought of that. Anybody really know anything about that boy? Not too many people. Not too many people. So for years and years, that was a well-kept secret, I guess, in Hollywood. And I actually only heard rumors that people were sworn to. They were sworn to not give the secret away. But there's a lot of secrets around that song and that boy and that movie. Okay, and it starts with the boy. Alright, that boy's name was Billy Redden. Alright, Billy Redden. And he was 15 years old when he sat on that front porch and you see him playing the banjo. And he got tagged the Banjo Boy. Everybody knows him. Well, he was only 15 years old. He did an audition and he was picked from a bunch of other boys that tried out for the scene there in the movie. And he was picked strictly because of his looks. Strictly because of his looks. When he was actually picked, he was auditioning for a scene in the movie. He didn't even know what he was going to do, really. He wasn't even quite fully told what he was going to do. And because you see, Billy Redden, the Banjo Boy, cannot play banjo. And that's the truth. Billy Redden never played banjo. Never in his life. To this day. There's actually his one video on YouTube of him that was taken not long ago, I think maybe a couple of years ago. And he's standing with the banjo more or less as a prop, and they asked him to play it, and he cannot play it. Never did. Okay, but so that's one thing, all right? Billy Redden, not a banjo boy, and cannot play banjo. Okay, so there's one. Pop one bubble there for you. Okay. The next thing is that well, Billy Redden, he got paid for doing the scene in the movie, I guess, but I assure you it was peanuts, and he never got any kind of royalties at all for the use of his image, his face, on everything, as I mentioned, and if you Google the word Deliverance, alright, chances are a picture of Burt Reynolds is not going to come up. Okay, a picture of Billy Redden is going to come up. Okay, everybody associates Billy Redden with the movie. Okay, and as far as the song goes, that song put that movie over the top. Now, everybody says that was a good movie. Okay, most people say it was a great movie. Okay, well, I agree it was a good movie. Alright, and it was taken from a great book by the same name, Deliverance. Alright, came out in 1970, the movie. Rather the book. The book came out in 1970, excuse me. The movie came out in 72. Alright, and I think the book was written by a man named James Dickey. I might be wrong about that, but James Dickey, I believe, was the author of the book. 1970, 72, the movie came out. Followed the book pretty close, I've been told. Never read the book. But anyway, There was a character in the book, you know, who was a inbred boy who played the banjo. So they needed a boy. They got Billy Redden. They did a total makeup job on him. Everybody always thinks Billy Redden was an inbred. He was product of incest, or he was, you know, maybe autistic. You know, he wasn't mentally fully, you know, there, but he could play the banjo like anybody. You know, none of that is true. Absolutely none of it. That's all Hollywood. That's all storyline. Okay. That all sold tickets. Sold tickets. It sold T-shirts. It sold everything. It sold a lot of banjos too, because every banjo player wanted to play that song. Every banjo player, and that became the staple. You had to learn how to play that song. And there was you know, millions of people you know, who never thought they'd ever play a banjo. Suddenly going out and buying banjos. Every guitarist wanted to learn how to play that song so they could join in and play the song with their banjo buddies. And well, the fact of the matter is that Billy Redden never played that song. Billy Redden was sitting on that front porch, and you see him playing that banjo. Behind Billy Redden, there was a man, totally unknown to history. Okay, there's barely mention of him online, other than the fact that he did what I'm going to tell you he did. His name was Mike Addis. Mike Addis was a local musician who was picked. He got behind Billy Redden, behind him, behind that bench, and Billy Redden wearing a very baggy shirt. Mike Addis put his arms through the sleeves of his shirt. Mike Addis played that banjo. Okay? Totally unknown person. Okay? And again, like Billy Redden, never got any credit. Okay? Never got any kind of royalties. Nothing. Okay? Now on the set, okay, the plot thickens even more. Because on the set, Mike Addis and the actor, Ronnie Cox, did play the song. Okay? They played the song on the set. Okay? However, that wasn't good enough for Hollywood. Two famous, or would be, soon to be famous musicians by the name of Eric Weisberg and Steve Mandel. Okay, they did the arrangement of the song as we know it, and they played it in a studio. They took that and they put that in the final cut of the movie, and that's what you're hearing. And that's what you buy when you buy the record. That's Eric Weisberg and Steve Mandel. Okay, that's who did Dueling Banjos. All right, great song, no doubt about it. Okay, and I'm not taking nothing away from those boys. All right, I don't think they really did anything wrong. Okay, however, there was a lot of injustice done with, relating to this song in this movie. Okay, and it's really very sad that those two boys, Billy and Mike, got screwed so bad. Never got with the just rewards. However, the story has a good ending, almost anyway. You see, there was a man out there who a lot of people knew. He was very famous in his own way, but a lot of people didn't know him. And his name was Arthur Smith, legendary guitar player, Arthur Smith. Okay, everybody back then knew him, and almost every guitar player was influenced by him, from Johnny Cash to Paul McCartney. Okay, who actually you know, idolized him, and he had his own show and everything back then. He was very famous, Arthur Smith. Okay, and his song "Guitar Boogie" was like the biggest guitar song ever back then. Everybody wanted to play it. Some people called it the first rock and roll song. Anyway, Arthur Smith. Okay, when Arthur Smith, you know, when he heard that, well, Arthur Smith, that sounded like ching 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 ching. Big money. Yes, sir. So Arthur Smith is the original author and composer of that song. You ever wonder why it's called Dueling Banjos? When there's a guitar and a banjo, doesn't make any sense. When there's a duel, there's a gun duel, it's two guns. There's a sword duel, it's two swords. Why is Dueling Banjos a guitar and a banjo? Not two banjos. Well, the fact of the matter is, it was two banjos originally. All right, and it was not even called Dueling Banjos. No, sir. It was called Feuding Banjos. And it was created by Arthur Smith, and it was originally recorded by a man named by Arthur Smith and a man named Don Remo. And there was two banjos, as I said. Arthur Smith played the 4-string plectrum banjo, excuse me, which is a 4-string banjo played with a pick. Plectrum banjo, they called it. And Don Remo played a 5-string bluegrass banjo, similar to this, but bluegrass style. So that's why it was called Feuding Banjos. And they kept it Dueling Banjo. They made it Dueling Banjos. And so anyways, when Arthur Smith heard that, he knew it was his song. He recorded it in 1955. And actually made his public debut in 1963 on, of all things, the Andy Griffith Show. Andy Griffith, on his show, he used to have this bluegrass band. They were called the Dillets, and they did these skits on Andy's show, and their stage name was the Darlings. And they came on the show and they would do some jams with Andy, and work it into a skit. And they did Feuding Banjos, 1963. On the Andy Griffith Show, and it's the first time it got public recognition. So it was well established. Okay, and didn't become the big hit back then. Okay, but still, it was well established. Okay, so Arthur Smith, he tried to, he called up the movie people and he told them, hey, that's my song. Well, they tried to shut him up and pacify him by offering him a cash settlement, $15,000, I believe it was, just to make this go away. Here you go, $15,000. Arthur Smith, he was a very, very smart boy. Very smart, all right? He wasn't no dummy. He wasn't going to fall for that nonsense, okay? Like I said, that song sold millions of copies. I think it says 7 to 10 million copies right out of the gate. That song took off like crazy. Put that movie over the top, and everybody was strumming that song. Okay, everybody was buying that record, and all the publicity started as a result of that song. Okay, and to this day, you can see video games that use that song. Video games. All right, internet websites using that song. All right, it'll never die. All right, and so but Arthur Smith, he turned around and he sued him. He sued him big, and he got the settlement. And he also got the royalties from that song. And I believe he passed away a couple of years ago, but his family's still getting the royalties. So the song has the story of the song has a good ending. Because Arthur Smith, the original author, got his just rewards, got the settlement, and he got what he had come to him. Okay, unfortunately for Billy Redden and Mike Addis, not so much. They kind of faded into history. Okay, Billy Redden did a couple other little tidbit things. It was just a novelty thing to have Billy Redden in your movie. It was silly, but he never got any recognition whatsoever at all. As 99% of the people know Deliverance never heard the name Billy Redden. So I'm trying to fix that right here with this video, telling the story. So that's the story, and that's how it all went down. So next time you hear Dueling Banjos, or someone says to you, well, you know Dueling Banjos, you tell them, well, that was originally Feuding Banjos. Feuding Banjos, not Dueling Banjos. And it was done with two banjos. And next time you go into a Walmart, think of Billy Redden, because that's where he's working. And he's getting by just like you and I. He ain't no movie star. Okay? And as far as Mike Addis goes, that's the saddest part, I think. That's the man lost behind the curtain. No one knows him. That's pretty darn sad. So, that's the whole story behind the music on the movie Deliverance. All right, Dueling Banjos, really Feuding Banjos, by Arthur Smith, and the rest is history. And I'm going to end this video using a quote from a very famous newscaster that you old timers would definitely know. His name was Paul Harvey. And he used to do documentaries like this. He'd just grab a story from history or whatever, and he'd uncover all the truth, and he'd do a documentary of it. And he was blow your mind with some of the stuff he'd come out with. And when he finished his show, he'd close his show with his signature line. And I'm going to close this video with Paul Harvey's signature line. Now you know the rest of the story. Thanks for watching, guys. Welcome, Daniel.